Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex, and over the past month, I have been building a tower defense skirmish indie game called Appalachian Onslaught. This game has the theme of Appalachian cryptids and folklore like that, and is set in the Appalachian Mountains. Over the past month, I've been focusing heavily on programming, but I have now completed that. I completed that as of last week, and so this week I have spent a lot of time overhauling the visual system so it's no longer just a bunch of white boxes. So in today's video, I'm going to go over pretty much all of the new visual updates and areas like that. And there are a few programming changes as well that I'll go over, but let's get into it. So to start off with, I thought I would show off the new environment before I go into all the troops and stuff. So this is the mountain, the final bastion of the mountain tribe, which is the good side. It's the side that you'll play on. And then in the forest is where all the cryptids are coming from. The cryptids are going to be like the enemies you have to face, and they will be still led by the Qatari, which is meant to be like a Wendigo reference, but also could be its offspring, etc. Or something that's killed the Wendigo. The story still needs to be a little bit more outlined, but that's the general gist of it. So for the main gist of the environment, I wanted to go alongside having a big mountain backdrop for scale, because you'll be about this height. And so looking up, you want to be like, okay, right, I get what I'm defending. As a player, it's pretty obvious where the enemies are going to come from, the big, scary, misty forest, and where I'm meant to be defending as a player, which is obviously the wall, which is obviously meant to represent the base. So I've not added in any buildings back here, and I won't be adding in any buildings back here, because this is going to be where the player is going to place their own buildings. I've started on one of the spawners currently. It's finished. And I need to move on to all the others as well. But almost all of the main assets, all of the foundational assets are pretty much done. So, for example, I've got a human model that I've added in, but we'll talk about that later. But as for all of the base commodities, the only things that are left to do here are the towers, the tower bases, and all the totems, and of course the chief hut. And then I was thinking I need to put some kind of way of showing that, this currently leads into a wall. Why would the enemy bother to attack something when, you get in here and it's like, right, what do we do now? What there needs to be is there needs to be a massive, some kind of gateway here. So it makes it obvious that the enemies are trying to get into the mountains to conquer it, basically. This is what it looks like from afar, by the way. So it's meant to be very well optimized. All of this stuff is done in Blender, by the way, aside from the foliage. This stuff, the foliage, all the grass and stuff, that is just a tab asset that I got offline. It looks quite nice. But as for everything else, like the rocks and stuff, that was done in Blender, moved into Substance Painter, because, well, I won't go into it in this episode video, but Blender is my favorite 3D modeling software. In uni, they want us to use Maya, but as someone who wants to be an independent game developer, paying $3,000 a year for a modeling software is not really viable, especially not at this point. And besides, Blender does perfectly good a job. I still don't particularly see the difference other than big companies like big names such as Maya, even though Blender's pretty big as well. But this is what the environment looks like. You've got the bad side, you've got the good side, and a very nice, straightforward, linear map as well. I wanted to make this bit dip below so it makes it clear that, we're going into the mountains and this goes down into the Appalachian forest, because you wouldn't have, trees all over these mountains in the background. Although I will say they probably need a bit more snow or stuff on them rather than just rock, but that's more of a polishing edit, some would say. I think that's everything covered for the environment. So we're now going to move on to what I think is the much more enjoyable section of this video, and that is going to be all of the new character, enemy, and spawner models. So let's get straight into that. So I'm wondering how best to show this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the content drawer, and we're just going to play the game. And that should best show off how everything looks now. So we're going to load up a window now. So this, first of all, is going to be the chief. I will just preface now, all of the characters are low poly for two reasons. One, I'm not that good of a modeler. This is pretty much the best I can do. But I wanted also to make them low poly anyway, because they're going to need to be optimized because of how many troops there are going to be towards the later stages of the game. You have 20 troops coming out, or 300. You want them to be low poly. Like, this is about 2,000 faces or even less. And as for the animations, though, I will also preface for them. So for all the humanoid animations, they are just from mixer mode, because for time's sake, this needs to be done pretty soon. And Mixamo animations, they do the job. There's nothing too wrong with them. Obviously, there's a bit of an issue here where say I'm moving and I attack, I then start sliding, but it's not that big of an issue. I don't know if I'm going to worry about it because it means blending animations and stuff like that. But it's possible. It's something I could do. But then, yeah, this is the chief. So obviously you can see he's got 2 deer skulls on the back to be like, right, this guy is the shit. He's killed Wendigos before, and he is the reason he is the chief of the tribe, and you're the player character even. Now, as for everything else, let's go and give myself some stone ruins, and we're gonna go into build mode, and we're gonna place down the new spear warrior spawner, which is obviously this is a very Native American inspired like folklore game. So I've gone with TPs for the spawners, and we're gonna place 2 of them down for now because I think we haven't got that resources, and we go over to them. And here we have the Spear Warrior spawner. So we go up to it, we can interact, we can upgrade it. And there you go, you can see that it's upgraded. And there is a thing that shows off, okay, it is upgraded, or what level it is. Excuse me. But I think it's inside the hut at the moment. So we'll move on now to the actual Spearers. So I'm going to start the game. And these are also Mixamo. I don't know if you can tell, but I've used the rifle animations for the Spear Warriors. And then I've put the spear on a bone. One issue I am still having, though, is the animations are fine. Like, the rifles animation's fine. I haven't got a problem with that. And they're all scaled and stuff. But the issue is when we go to attack the enemies, the deers do not have models, by the way. These are like the siege troops. When they get up, I don't know if I can show it off. As you can see, the spear doesn't follow the other hand. So what I've done I placed the bone in, and it's linked to a socket on one of the hands. And that's how it follows the animations, because the spear isn't part of the animations. The issue is I'm having is, oh my god, they're already destroying the base. Oh my god, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. This is what I mean. The walls need a little bit more health because it's quite unbalanced. Oh my god. So we're going to go up and we're going to start attacking these guys because otherwise I'm going to lose the game very quickly. And soon we should be able to show off the... Okay. I'm trapped now. Well, these are new spear warriors, and I've gone for like these. They're wearing masks that show off their kind of like what they are, and all of the symbolic runic symbols are meant to show off like, all right, these guys are spear warriors, and these guys are archers, for example. And there is now a main menu, by the way, so it's now a closed game loop. But we move on. We're going to go over to this direction because I have something that can spawn in the first new enemy type, which is going to be the boar cryptid. Now, for some of the animals, I was thinking going really mutant forms, so that's why I've kind of gone with this, but I will spawn it in. Is it 1 or is it 2? Okay, there's Spear Warrior. This is the new boar model. I'll try to show off before it kills me. And, this is not going to be able to show off very well, but we're just going to kill it, and we're going to show it in a different way. Now, as I was saying with the Mixamo animations, because there are no animal animations in Mixamo, I've decided to do all the animal stuff and the non-humanoid character animations myself. So we're going to go into the enemies, go to light enemies, boar, and I will show it off in the blueprint. I think that's probably best. So load that up. And this is the new boar. So what I wanted to go with here for is that it's had a mutant. Its eyes have been like scratched out and covered all over it now, and said these are all meant to be like eyes and stuff, or holes and like stuff like that. And then we've got runic symbols from the Appalachian folklore as well. And then we've got loads of tusks spurting out of it. So they've taken like the scariest part of a boar, which is its tusks, and amplified it. So it put it all over the body. It's meant to give off also like maybe it's being mixed with a spider, etc. like that. But cryptid is meant to be something that is scary, it's weird, and it's very mutant-like, similar to like stuff like Mothman, Wendigos, and stuff like that. But they're based off of animals, obviously. So that's why we've gone with the boar for the first enemy. Now, apart from that, that's all the main stuff covered. I will also show off the actual chieftain thing a bit more, because you can't really see it from back. You can't see the front from the back. So here's the chieftain. So this was the second one I did. All of the troops on the ally side, any human troop is going to use the same base mesh because it's the best way to optimize workflow. And there's not, I mean, if a human is a human, they're all the same. The only thing that matters is what is attached to them and stuff like that. So here we have the Chieftain's Club. Again, lots of different symbols on it. That was done in Substance Painter even. and it all functions perfectly. There's no issue there. But yeah, currently the biggest issues I'm having are, getting the animations to flow, as well as for the boar animations, you can't really see it, but when it does the walking animation, I'm going to show the walking animation. This is my fault from being not great at animations, but we'll go into the animation walk. Here we go. And we'll go here. So this is the walk animation. Now, as you can see, that is it's pretty shit. But secondly, it's very slow. So then when we go back into the game, I'll just go spawn in another boar and get him to come this way. The boar's movement speed almost outpaces the animation, similar to how the Chieftain looks. Like, it still looks like he's sliding because the animation doesn't match the speed that the character is moving at. And as you can see here, I'll try to show off a bit more. Okay, he's attacking me. But he's moving so fast, the animation, here we go. The animation just looks like he's floating. So that is a fix that can be done. But for now, it's okay. The point that he is still moving and isn't just completely floating is there. So it's not the end of the world, but it could still be fixed. But this is more polishing sides of things that can be done later on. And, the death animation looks fine. The attack animation is fine. I will show off what happens when the chief dies, because there is an animation for that. And there is also an animation for the ground slam, but I can only show that off by getting the ground slam ability unlocked. So we're just going to start the wave so I can show off the death. I'm going to, they're always, this is what happens if you get overrun, and then he dies, and we can restart the game. And so that is pretty much, this is going to be quite a short video because, it's a lot easier to show off visual stuff compared to programming. So there's not a whole lot to talk about, apart from just visually showing them. So this is the direction the game's going, and it's going quite well. I do want to change the sky and the lighting as well, because right now it just looks a little bit too, I don't feel in danger, if you know what I mean. It could be a case of maybe putting some torches up and then lowering the light level. So for example, let me grab the directional light now. If I was to change it like this and have shadow, the only issue with this is whilst it kind of looks better, it means these bits are going to be a lot darker, which will affect gameplay, because then, some areas are darker, it's not going to show it off as well. You even might struggle to see the enemy, so that's an issue. And then if I made it completely dark, sure, it looks much... Okay, now that I'm saying that, if I leave the skylight on, how does it look? Can you still see? No, you cannot. Okay, so maybe not that. But if I could get it to maybe look something like this, but have torches everywhere, it'd be pretty cool. It might even be worth bringing back the day-night system I had in the previous version of the game in Blood Antlers, just to make it a little bit more intense, because currently it's I don't feel very afraid, and it could just be, you know what, actually? Yeah. So let me just quickly run through how the gameplay works. So this is the prep phase. There's nothing coming. You have as much time as you need to build stuff, upgrade stuff, and do all of that. And then when I hit K, what that could do is turn it to night, put all the torches up and set them off and stuff like that. And that way, it then feels like you're in danger. But right now it just doesn't. And then maybe on ways people. Okay, this is all quite great. I didn't realize I can't write this during a video, but I think that could be a smart way of doing this instead. So apart from that though, that is how things are looking currently. I've still got a lot of just multiple other characters to do. We've done one ally, we've done one enemy, and we've done the main character, but there are still, loads. We've got the deer still to do, which is one that's already in the game. Then we've got the cultist, but I don't want to spoil everything, but I will show that off more later on. So yeah, if you're enjoying how the game is looking, I am preparing for a Steam page launch on I think it's late April, and by preparing, there is going to be, I'll announce it, but there will be a Steam page launching for this game end of April to prepare to get in for the submission for the Steam Fest. So if you're looking forward to that, then I will update at the time, but be sure to subscribe to find out when that is. But anyway, I hope you have a very nice rest of your days, and I will get on with this. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.